I'd just like to start by saying thank you, for the interview. The fairy stares at him with huge eyes, her head resting in the palms of her hands, elbows on the table. She smiles, revealing teeth pointy as fishes. We was left with no choices. It's like thanking your hearts for beating. Oh, the wish thing. I didn't really expect that to work. The fairy sits up straight, folds her hands into her lap. Yours is here now, and I'm bored to death. Begins. Oh, okay. Well, my first question is about where you live. This house, is it yours? No, stupid. It's Andrea's house. So who's Andrea? She's our humans. We likes Andrea. Does she know you live here? Of course not. We only comes out at night, and when Andrea's at work. So where's Andrea now? She's backpacking around Europe. If you wants to know so much about Andrea, you should have wished to introduce her. Yeah, sorry. I keep getting sidetracked. Now, let's move on to fairy legend. Is it true that you can't tell lies? No, we cannot tell a lie. Oh, that's reassuring. Unless I just lies to you, of course. So did you? Not me. Is it true you collect teeth? Oh yes, we likes teeth, but not from under pillows. Well, where from then? Dentists, parents' rooms. So, do you have any of my teeth? The fairy begins to rummage in a large, deep pocket, her mouth slightly open. She suddenly exclaims, "Ha ha! Here's your tooth!" He looks into the palm of her hand, and there is a tiny baby tooth. It shines like mother of pearl. He reaches out his hand to take it, and feels a dull ache stretch from his mouth to his temple. He presses his long fingers into the side of his head, and it's gone. When he looks down, there's food in front of him. We thought you might be hungry. He's about to protest when he realises he's starving, even though it's not so long since he ate his breakfast. Oh, thank you. He picks up a dainty sandwich with the crust removed and takes a bite, fighting the urge to peek inside before he does. He licks his lips. Wow, this is delicious. Andrea likes them. So do you make them for her? Are you totally stupid? What's the point of this if yours is not going to listen? Sorry, of course, Andrea doesn't know you're here. So how many of you live in this house? 11s. That's not many. Are there other fairies in other houses? The fairy purses her lips and looks at the ceiling. He sits waiting and looking around the room and notices it's painted Prussian blue. He wonders how he knows this. Under the bay window is a two-seater sofa covered in a pale fabric that looks yellow under the lamplight but could be cream. Fairies can live anywhere. This room, it feels awfully familiar. That's a human's thing, isn't it? Deja vu's. Yeah, don't fairies get that? The fairy leans towards him, her eyes luminous, and breaks into a huge grin that brings the film Critters to mind. No. Fairies have excellent memories, not like Andrea. She's always forgetting her keys, her phone, and sometimes she goes to a room and can't remember what she was doing there. Oh well, I think most people are a little bit like that. So tell me about the magic. How does it work? Ha! How does your brains work? The fairy looks towards the sofa and mutters, "What an idiot." He puts his hand up to his face, stroking the stubble. He suddenly frowns. Confusion flickers across his face, and then he's still, his eyes focused on the beige curtains that are closed, even though it's daytime. "I'm waiting!" yells the fairy. He visibly jumps, and the fairy giggles. He puts his hand in his hair and pulls it away from his face and begins frantically scanning his nose. How long do fairies live for? Oh, about 150 years. So how old are you? 63. You look like a teenager. So do you. For the first time he smiles. So do other mythical things exist? What's likes? Well, dragons? The fairy crosses her arm and glowers, and he's sure he sees a ripple of blue light flash through her hair like static. Okay, not dragons then, but what about leprechauns? Scots, Irish, English, you's all humans, aren't you? Oh, okay. Oh, the wish thing. I thought it was 3 wishes. You humans are so greedy. I guess we are. Your clothes look amazing. Do you make them yourself? Yes. Where'd you get the stuff? We use these things Andrew has forgotten about or thrown away. I like your bag. Is it made from newspaper or a magazine? No, Andrea's a writer and I make this one from her poems. It's my favourite. I will read it and you will listen. Okay. You cannot come this way. You may not pass us. You've disturbed our play, and we are bruised. At the border we don't smile, we won't frown. We will bury you before you drown. In the knowledge you have stolen, in the assumptions you have made. You can't come this way, hindering the calm, disturbing our play, creating the harms. He sits in silence for a while, until the fairy begins to drum the table with small stubby fingers making a sound like hail on canvas. Did she not miss it? She puts it in a drawer and forgets, is it? I don't really get poetry. No fairy will live with yous then. Fairies like poetry then. Andrea can also sing. It sends gooses up my spines. Can you sing? No, not really. I do the odd bit of karaoke. I thinks I have done enough for my turns. Yous can have one more question. Oh, I've got loads more to ask you. One more's. He flips through his notebook. Okay. What do you eat? The fairy leans across the table and beckons with her hand for him to come in closer. When they are only inches apart, she whispers, "We eat memories." He frowns, rubs his forehead with 3 fingers, then tentatively asks, "Have you eaten any of my memories?" The fairy smiles, all teeth.